Hi, it's Dr. Doug Curtis.
And Lucy Curtis from Dyslexic and Unstoppable. Our mission is to help dyslexics rediscover their inner power.
Right, and this is the third video in the 14 ways to help raise your dyslexic child's self-esteem. This one's called Find a Mentor. And this is really big with our son, right? He had a couple big mentors along the way, right?
Right. And well, one is definitely was his. Well, there was teachers.
Right.
There was numerous teachers that recognized that even though he was struggling, he was smart and he was interested and he wanted to learn.
Right.
So they were willing to see the greatness in him, regardless of the challenge, right? So there's many of those teachers. And still today, right? That even though he doesn't struggle as much, they recognize, right? There are great things about him. Right. And the other thing was, well, there's the Taekwondo, right? Because Taekwondo is about self-esteem and integrity and respect and integrity and all these things. And even though he struggled a lot because it's a lot about coordination and things like that, our teacher, our coach or mentor, master,
is what they call it.
Yeah, he was able to recognize that. He would say to him all the time, and he still goes, I should say, right? Yeah. So it's his. I recognize your effort. I realize your effort, and I honor that, right? Exactly. So that even though you realize that you're not the best at everything, that somebody tells you, you know what? I see that you're working really hard, and I see progress, and I appreciate the effort that you put in. It helps somebody who's not always the best at something to continue working harder, right?
Exactly. Actually, I found for myself, the other thing mentors do is they transfer their belief in you into you. So you develop that self-belief, right? I think of, I always talk about my teacher. He was the chairman of pediatrics at Yale, the head of the ICU. And he was always about 10, 15 steps ahead of you. Like he always knew the answer to some really complex thing, but he would slowly help you figure it out, lead you there to the answer. So you felt like, oh, I figured that out. So it gave you that self-esteem. So I think that's another great thing a mentor does.
Yes, and it helps you, like the ones that I have or had, or some of them are still in my life, is help me recognize the greatness that I have in me, right? Without telling me per se, oh, you're this, you're that, because when people say it, you don't really believe it, but when it can get you to feel it and find it yourself is when you like, oh, wait a minute. And it reminds me of Felix Alexander having a conversation with a mom at one of the learning houses, right? And I would always say, and I still say today, is you're smart, you can do whatever you want. You made the choice, right? And he was in the car in the back. You know what I'm talking about, right? Sure. The mom says, and something about Felix Alexander. Well, he's brilliant. He's smart. He's so intelligent. And we were having this conversation, and he was sitting in the back, and he said, well, when we left, he says, you know what, Mama? He said, I know you tell me all the time how smart I am, but from hearing it from somebody else who's not, we expected to tell me that it made
a big thing.
Yeah,
right, exactly. So let us know how you're going to incorporate mentors into your dyslexic child's life. It's a great way to raise their self-esteem. Leave us a comment below and visit us at Dyslexic and Unstoppable.